Hey everyone, I'm going to be trying another type of video today that I hope you will enjoy. I don't typically do many mapping videos, but I really do enjoy mapping, so I'm going to try and do some more. Today we're going to look at a scenario where Canada forms an empire. So I'm just going to go and color in Canada here. So there's Canada all colored in. Now where should they go first? They're going to attack Greenland. And since most of Canada's population is down here in the south, I'm going to send up people to Greenland from down here in Quebec and Labrador, and they make a landing in the southern tip of Greenland. Now, NATO and other alliances like that have all been dissolved in this alternate scenario, and NATO no longer exists, so Canada is able to do this. Denmark, who owns Greenland, is not happy about this. The only people who really live in Greenland are right down here in the south. Canada makes a few more landings on the west coast, and they begin to sweep through pretty easily. I know Canada and Denmark had the Whiskey Wars over a tiny island right here. That was resolved, but let's say it wasn't. Canada was actually occupying this area. Denmark and Canada eventually agree that Canada gets all of this. Canada now has Greenland. Now Canada's looking around, and they're wondering where should they go next. They're already a very large country, but they want to be larger. So where should they go next? Geographically, it just makes sense that Canada would have Alaska. And so that's where they go next. Is this a smart move, attacking the US? Probably not. But let's see. They begin to move in troops, and they take out to the southern parts of Alaska, push along the coast, capturing any cities or towns. They're here. And Canada realizes that was the US, so that they should probably not have all their troops up here. Because probably not a good idea to attack what is the most powerful country in the world. And they begin to move into Canadian territory. They capture Toronto, which is not good for Canada. And Canada immediately begins to try and move troops down towards the American border. They capture most of New Brunswick and southern Quebec, all of New Brunswick. They begin to move into Nova Scotia, capture PEI, capture this island, and make a landing on Newfoundland. They capture Montreal and Ottawa, and that's not very good for Canada. So they now are trying to make peace with the US, and they're going to do up a new peace treaty. So now we can take a look at this peace treaty. So, as you can see, Canada was forced to give over all of New Brunswick, southern Quebec, and Nova Scotia and PEI, and they also lost a bit of land in southern Ontario. But on the bright side for Canada, they got Alaska. So now, Canada's going to be working on building on their military, so maybe they can one day take back some of this land. But for now, they're going to look to expand in other directions. Where are they going to go now? They don't really want to go after Russia after the defeat from the US, because that's not a very good thing. NATO doesn't exist anymore, and there's this country that's not very far from them that has zero military. Yeah, it doesn't go well. They'll take this island too. I don't know who owns that. I think it might be Denmark or Norway, but whatever. Canada now. So now many years go by, and Canada's built up their military. They're now a top military power, and they're not going to attack the US again quite yet. Instead, they're going to look south, and they see the Caribbean. And they're looking around, and they find the Bahamas, which is a nice country that they can invade. And they take the Bahamas, and they make the landing in Cuba. and Jamaica. And yeah, the Canadian Empire now reaches down into the Caribbean. They're not going to attack Puerto Rico because they don't want to get in trouble with the US again, so they'll keep it like that. Now, a little while later, the Canada now builds up their military quite a lot, and they now declare war. Canada declares war on the US. And so now, Canadian troops fled in from southern Ontario, retaking their land here, and pushing across the old borders into West Michigan, and I'm pretty sure that's New York State, maybe it's Pennsylvania. They push into the Upper Peninsula, and they take over most of that. They push in again into what used to be southern Quebec. They take Nova Scotia and PEI. Well, yeah. Now they've taken Nova Scotia and begin to work into New Brunswick. Eventually, they take back the whole province and begin to be working down into the U.S. state of Maine, which I'm pretty sure they've taken all that. Coast aside, the west coast, Canada's also pushing down into Washington State. They've captured Seattle. They've pushed down from Vancouver. They also made a slight incursion down out of Alberta, from Calgary. Pushed down from Saskatchewan as well. There's like no people there, so they can take that quite easily. They want to gather as much land as they can, so it'll look better for them on the peace treaties. This here, I'm pretty sure that's like an entire lake. There's just like one little town, so Canada can take that, and they push down to Minnesota, I'm pretty sure. This is going really good for Canada. Canada's a little bit overpowered in this scenario. In real life, this could never happen. But this is going really well for Canada. They've captured most of Michigan and begin to push down to Wisconsin. And this is now about time. The U.S. is trying to call for peace. But Canada wants more. They capture almost all of the Great Lakes. And now they're going to meet for peace. And the peace treaty looks something like this. A little complicated. So the U.S. gets back all of their maritime provinces, plus a little bit of land. They get all of Michigan, mostly, and some of the northern parts of where they pushed in. Now, just like the typical U.S.-Canadian border, it's just chaos. Straight lines here and there, random panhandles. It's just a mess. Now, Canada doesn't really have anywhere else they could go. You could probably go to Africa, but that's pretty far. I think that'll bring us to the end of this video. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, I'm pretty new to mapping. I would like to do more videos, and as I do more, they'll probably get better. So let me know if you want to see me do more mapping videos, and see you later. Thank you.